Right, only 2 more videos to record in this segment. I'm a little bit relieved about that. We're almost done with it. Let's see what we got. Another Honda. Alright, so I guess the other locked bike must be a Yamaha, because everything else, apart from my Kawasaki, is a Honda. We're back onto the TT course, so we're back to using this livery for the Kawasaki. If you did want to see a Honda in the 400s, you've come to the wrong place. Alright, I'm using the Kawasaki. Kawasaki is my bike of choice. Always and forever. I am the Kawasaki man, what can I say? Digibro is the Lolicon man, I am the Kawasaki man. Wait, that was not the right thing to say. Let's move on. Liking Kawasaki's is not like liking lollies, okay? Although there's nothing wrong with liking lollies, they're drawings, it's fine. You know, it doesn't reflect on real life. I'm on damage control. Everyone just, I'm on damage control. Okay. Let's forget I said that and do some bike racing, eh? That sounds like a good plan to me. I was about to say it felt like my Kawasaki had gotten slower, but I just got a bad start as this game is the bad start game. If you get a good start in this game somehow, you are God. I don't think it can. I really don't think it can happen though. I don't think you can get a good start. Usually I'm like fairly picky about using a different car in every race or stuff. Or like not using the same car too many times in a let's play or whatever. But like that's all gone out the window with me in this Kawasaki here. In the I'll make there'll be more of a variety from now on. I just wanted to use my Kawasaki 3 times in a row. I'll use a Honda next week, I promise. Unless I unlock the Yamaha, I'll use that. Depending on what Yamaha it is. I mean, obviously it'll probably be a 400, that 400 Yamaha, the 400, I've forgotten its name. But it will have to be prettier than the Hondas for me to use it, because I'm thinking about using one of the Hondas. I'm thinking about using the Honda with like the really big fairing. Once I finally hop off this Kawasaki, I probably won't use a 400. Like when I get to the actual TT events, I'll use loads of Kawasaki's then. So there'll be a lot of Kawasaki then. So until then, I'm gonna use a bunch of different bikes. I think that's a good plan. I think that's fair. I'll try and keep my Kawasaki use to a minimum from now on, because I've used them too much. And I mean, I could have used, like, it doesn't really matter for the 125s and the 250s, because there's only like 2 different bikes in those classes. But, you know, I'm gonna switch it up a little bit more. Especially as, like I said, the higher up bike classes, there's more different bikes the further up you get, so. I'll see what I can do about using a whole bunch of different ones. Well, hey, everyone's happy. I'm happy. You're happy. Everything's fine. Everything's cool. Everything is okay. I think there's a guy in this race called Bottom. I also know that there's a rider in this game called Hideo Kojima. So, you know, I think that was what inspired me to buy the Metal Gear Solid HD collection for the Xbox 360 and then hate it. Like, obviously, just racing against a guy called Hideo Kojima didn't make me hate a game, but like, I didn't like that game based on its own virtues. And I've talked about this before, but it's a really bad port job. Right? The controls are shit, and the camera is shit in like the majority of the games, and one of them is just a PSP game. So it's like, wow, I actually felt fairly offended that, you know, although, and then Metal Gear Solid 3 might as well have been a movie, to be honest. And then I got eaten by a crocodile, but that was mostly because I deliberately got myself eaten by a crocodile because I'd fucked up the mission pretty bad, and I didn't want to sit through that fucking cutscene again from the beginning. So that's my excuse for not liking Metal Gear Solid 2, 3, and the PSP game. I think I've probably talked about that before. Probably a couple of times. I tend to go around in circles a lot. I am, after all, the Circle Man. But I'm not going to bring up that again. That's not coming up again. I've still got three stages to go after this one. Although I didn't crash like I did on the 125 and 250s, which is weird because the 400 is a bit faster, so I'm not sure what's going on with that. Yep, John Bottom. Nah. When I said I was immature, I meant it. And I'm pretty sure we all should have already known that by now, but just making sure. Just making Owen sure from the Fast and the Furious 6? Yeah, because they stole the name of Tim Heidecker's character for Fast and Furious 7. But Tim Heidecker deserves to have his character stolen because he took $1 Million Extreme Presents World Peace away from us. I still watch On Cinema at the cinema though, but I am definitely on Greg Turkington's side in most of the drama that goes on in that show. I can see the flaws in Greg, but I do think he's the lesser of two evils between him and Tim. He's definitely he's also the brains behind the operation. Like Tim fucks off and kills a bunch of teenagers at a music festival, and but Greg holds it down. You know, Greg keeps the ship together. Just gotta make sure the tablet stays on. this recording session has been going too smoothly. I don't know what's going on, but something's up. Something's gonna happen at the end of it that's gonna fuck everything up. I can see it coming. I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Oh Lord. I'm just waiting for the Elgato or the tablet or maybe even the PlayStation to just come out and ruin everything for me. It's gonna happen. It's gotta happen. I don't want it to happen. I wish it wouldn't happen, but seems like it might happen. It could always... I'm yawning, hang on. Seems like it could always be a thing that happens, you know. It's just, you never know, really, with this whole sort of thing. This whole recording game, the YouTube hustle, as it were. Rolling backwards down the road on that grid, sliding along a little bit. Up the inside of Kawasaki Pro. At least I think that might be Kawasaki Pro. I don't think a guy on a Yamaha would wear bright green leathers. But then again, the opponents in this game might be randomized visually, or something of that nature, so I don't know. Either way, up and onto the mountain. In terms of 2005 on the PlayStation 2, I think this game looks better than Need for Speed Most Wanted. Because I've been watching... Well, I don't know how far into the future this video will come out, but I don't... On the basis that he pretty much just started, I don't think he'll be done with his Let's Play before this video gets out, so you might still be able to sort of catch up with it. But Matty C, everyone's favourite bright red-faced Manchester man, doing a... No, wait. No, he's playing it on PC. Alright. Need for Speed Most Wanted looks terrible on PC. Alright. Kamikaze Games played it. He'll definitely be finished by the time this video gets out, because he's on, like, running now. I'm watching, like, 3 Need for Speed Most Wanted Let's Plays at the same time. Kamikaze Games, he's just finishing. Black Pants, he's about halfway through at this point. Maybe done by the time this video gets out, but with like how he uploads his videos, who knows, to be honest. And then Matty C, who just started, who I think is trying to maybe cash in. This is some real YouTube conspiracy stuff, and it's like pretty simple stuff. It's like, if a game gets popular, you have to play it. You know, if a new game comes out, that's a game you play to get the views. You don't want to do a me and play a game that nobody knows exists from more than a decade ago. That's not how you get views. You can... Oh, I thought I was going to die. I thought they were bollards or something, but luckily there wasn't. But yeah, you can get away with playing old games as long as they're classics, but this game is more just old, really. It deserves classic status, but I think there are... And at one point I did say it was the best TT game, but I think probably there's maybe better ones out there. Not TT Superbikes Legends. Even though that game does have the Norton F1, it won. Well, it's not really my fault, but it's not really the game's fault they didn't run. I just have a laptop that doesn't support emulation very well because it's not very good. So that's not really a point against it, but it does seem to have some kind of boost function, and there's not really a lot of bikes in the game. There's plenty of tracks. There's not a lot of bikes that can be raced against each other, you know? dropped something. Not sure what it was. Alright, last stage. Down the mountain this time. Is that an Initial D reference? XD? Maybe it's just a problem with the Kawasaki that it doesn't get a good start, because it looked like this bloke here in second place just whooped round, straight round him. Of course, on intermediate handling there is a little bit of braking help. I don't know if I've mentioned this before, but the game does help you out on the brakes a little bit. It doesn't do that in expert mode, which is probably why I crash so much in expert mode, you know? And probably why there's a big jump from intermediate to expert. I wish there was a mode in between intermediate and expert handling models. That'd probably be perfect for me. There is not, unfortunately. But what can you do? Besides, I was playing Grid Auto Sport on hard mode the other day, and I'll probably have mentioned this in at least one episode of Grid Auto Sport by this point, but yeah, hard mode is a lot harder than medium mode. I could barely win a race concentrating on hard mode, so I might have accidentally put it on very hard. I can't remember. But point being that if I want to be able to commentate and play that game at the same time, it's going to have to stay on medium. Speaking of which, I have at least another 2 days of this half term where I'll be able to do some recording sessions. So I've got my priority record game, TT Superbikes here, out the way for a recording session. A recording session has taken place on this game. Well, there's still one more video to make of this session, but it has happened. So I don't know what game. I might record a couple of episodes of by a couple I mean 2, because I've really got nothing to talk about. But I might record 2 episodes of Oh, I've unlocked all the 600 races. And I'm going to finish up this session with one more 400. Because I've got to do I want to do the masterclass first anyway. And then we'll do the 600s. I'll talk about my plans for the rest of this recording session next week, but it doesn't really matter.